So these are broad macro shifts in how strategy is done. These are the Fosbury Fops emerging. These are the three-pointers emerging. There's one more that you want to think about. Create something out of nothing. See, we follow the game of business often following a rule that doesn't exist. And the rule is we have to play with the pieces on the board. It's like chess. You can't take a queen out of your back pocket and put it next to my king. But there are other types of games. In many countries in Asia, the analog to chess is Go, and in Go, the rules are the opposite. In Go, you cannot move the pieces. You can only add pieces and remove pieces. So what if we played the game of growing our businesses following this rule? What if we could only add and remove things? What would we like to add? Well, one thing we could think of adding is a customer. We define our market by people who are in the market. What if we added new people to the market? Tony Fernandez, he was an accountant in 2001. He quit his job. He bought an airline. It cost him 27 cents because the airline was bankrupt. But today, it's the second largest discount airline in the world. And his core concept was, we're not going to compete for airline customers. Instead, we are going to compete for non-airline customers, railroad customers. And we're going to engineer the whole business, our product, our marketing, how we distribute, how we price, engineer all of that to get railroad customers to start taking the airline instead. If you can find customers that your competitors don't consider customers and bring them into the market, they're much easier to compete with. Create a new category. Julie Copeland, she's one of our clients and a friend. She sells safety equipment, hazmat suits and gloves. And it's a really low-margin business because you maybe negotiate with the CFO, but then you're selling to the purchasing manager, and the purchasing manager just negotiates down to the lowest possible price. And she said, well, you know, we should not be selling safety equipment. We should create a new category, and we're just going to sell safety. What would it look like to just sell safety? Well, we'll give you the safety equipment, but we'll also bundle in with that some OSHA compliance consulting, some safety training. We'll wrap it all up, and we're going to call it safety care. She introduces safety care, and within 6 months, it's 10% of her revenue. Now it's much more significant. But more importantly, it gives her a relationship that is stickier and increases her pricing power with her customers, a partnership. Create out of nothing. It's sort of like if everyone was selling apples, right? And you're in a marketplace and everyone's selling apples. If you mix those apples with dough and sugar and sell apple pie, people don't know how much you're charging for your apples. That's the principle. Same thing Gatorade did when it was selling salty water on football fields for years. Pepsi and Coke, they don't see them growing as they're growing and growing. But on their market share reports for Pepsi and Coke, there's no line item for sports drink. Same thing that Red Bull did with energy drinks. Tons of applications of this, but it really is worth sitting down with your team, spending 15 minutes, spending an hour and saying, what would we like to add to the game? What new customers or occasions or categories or needs? If we had a magic wand, what would we like to add to the game?